story is called The Animals' Christmas, and it was written by Catharine Gardam. At the top of the hill were the ruins of an ancient church. Long ago, the roof had fallen in. Grass grew up through the stones of the floor, and all the windows were broken. No one had worshiped there for a long time. At the bottom of the hill was the new village church where everyone went. And halfway up the hill was Hawthorne Farm, where Sam and Jane and Lucy lived with their mother and father. Now on Christmas Eve, Dad took the children out to the woods to gather decorations for the Christmas Eve church service. Dad and Sam cut down a tall tree, and Dad took the trunk end, and Sam reached in and grabbed the top of the tree, and together they marched down toward the church. Meanwhile, Jane and Lucy were cutting holly and ground pine. Soon their arms were so full of branches that they looked like two bushes on legs. Well, when they got to the church, they found it was full of busy people decorating. Sam and Dad set the tree up in the entryway, and soon there were other people coming with boxes of beautiful glass ornaments and lights to put on the tree. Jane went into the church kitchen and found some vases and filled them with water, and arranged the holly branches and set them up on the tables in the church. Lucy strung the ground pine all around the walls of the sanctuary. It took all afternoon, and by the time they were finished, it was starting to get dark. Everyone came out of the back door of the church. It was pouring down snow, and it was very cold. Dad and the children began to march up the hill back to the farm so that they could get ready for the church service. Up ahead, they could see Mom was standing at the farm gate, and she was waving her arms, and she was saying something. Soon they were close enough to hear what she was saying. She was very upset. "Hurry, come quick, I can't find the animals anywhere." "What?" said Dad. "It's too cold for the animals to be outside. We've got to find them. Get on the phone and call the police." Mom ran on ahead, and the children and Dad went up to the farm and began looking for the lost animals. "Come, Bess. Here, Floss." Dad called his sheepdogs, but they didn't come. Jackson, the cat, and her 3 little kittens were not curled up in the warm straw in the barn. Binks the bull was not in his stall, neither was the cow or the donkey. The sheep were gone, the pig was gone, Marigold the turkey, cock-a-doodle-doo, and all the chickens were gone too. They were not in the farmyard. "This is serious," said Dad. "The animals could freeze. We've got to find them." And just then, Officer Smith came up from the village, and he helped the family look again in all the places that they'd already looked. The animals were gone. Just then, the bells in the village church began to chime. They were calling everyone to Christmas Eve church service. "Well, it's time to go to church," said Mom. "Well, I'm not going," said Dad. "I'm going to stay here and look for those animals." "Oh, yes, you are," said Mom. "I'll come too," said Officer Smith, and they each grabbed one of Dad's arms and began marching him down the hill to the church. The children came along too, of course. When they got to the church, they realized that the service had already started. Everyone was singing, "Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King." Pretty soon, the family had taken off their coats and found a place to sit, and Dad was enjoying himself, singing along with everyone else. When the service was over, they all came out of the church. "Goodbye, Merry Christmas, great to see you, have a wonderful day tomorrow." They all came out, buttoning their coats and pulling on their mittens and gloves, pulling down their hats and wrapping their scarves. The snow had stopped falling, but it was still very cold. And as they stepped out into that cold, dark night, a strange sound floated down from the top of the hill. It sounded like this. "What is that?" said Sam. "I don't know," said Jane. "Let's go find out," said Lucy. And all the children ran up the hill with the grown-ups following behind. As they climbed the hill, they began to understand that strange singing. Moo, 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 woof, 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 neigh, neigh, gobble, 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 oink, 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 quack. And when they reached the top of the hill and peeked around the tumble-down walls of that ancient church, do you know what they saw?
Animals.
There were the animals.
Singing.
And they were singing with the angels. And that's the story of The Animals' Christmas by Catharine Gardam.